The chilling tale of the Midnight Butcher began like a whisper in the wind. A rumor passed in hushed tones through the quiet town of Oakhaven. 5 souls had already been claimed, their lives brutally extinguished under the cloak of darkness. Each victim, found in their own home, left behind a trail of fear that snaked through the community, tightening its grip with every passing night. The police were baffled, the townspeople terrified, and a palpable sense of dread hung heavy in the air. Among them was Sarah, a young woman with a spirit as fiery as her red hair, and a mind sharper than any blade. Unlike others who succumbed to fear, Sarah felt a burning desire to act. Her younger sister, Lily, a sweet, timid girl, was her constant companion, and Sarah's protective instincts were heightened with every news report. She spent countless hours poring over newspaper clippings, studying police reports, and even venturing out at night, observing the town's eerie silence, hoping to find a clue that the authorities had missed. One evening, while walking Lily home from a friend's house, Sarah noticed something peculiar. A man, tall and gaunt, with a peculiar limp, seemed to be following them. His eyes, even in the dim light, held a disturbing intensity. Sarah, remembering the details of one of the victims, a woman who had often walked this very path, felt a jolt of recognition. Could this be him? Her heart pounded, but she forced herself to remain calm, quickening their pace while keeping a watchful eye on the shadowy figure behind them. When they finally reached their doorstep, Sarah pulled Lily inside, locking the door and peering through the curtains. The man had stopped across the street, his silhouette a sinister shadow against the faint glow of the street lamp. He stood there for what felt like an eternity, his gaze fixed on their house, before slowly turning and disappearing into the night. Sarah knew then, with a chilling certainty, that she had just come face to face with the Midnight Butcher. Panic clawed at my throat, but I swallowed it down, forcing myself to think. This wasn't a movie, this was real. The man with the limp, the chilling stare, he was the monster of Oakhaven. I had to do something, not just for Lily, but for everyone. The police hadn't found him, but I had. I spent the rest of the night plotting, my mind a whirlwind of possibilities. I couldn't go to the police yet, they would need more than a gut feeling. I needed proof. That night, after Lily was asleep, I slipped on my darkest coat and crept out the front door. The fog was a living thing, swirling around me, muffling the sounds of the night. It felt like Oakhaven was holding its breath. I kept a safe distance, a shadow among shadows, my eyes fixed on his limping figure as he moved through the deserted streets. My heart pounded a frantic rhythm against my ribs, each beat a silent prayer that I was right, that this was the Midnight Butcher, and that I wouldn't be his next victim. I followed him for what felt like an eternity, through alleyways and back streets, my feet silent on the wet pavement. He stopped at a dilapidated, abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of town, a place locals said was haunted, a place where fear was a constant resident. He disappeared inside, and I, driven by a recklessness born of desperation, crept closer, finding a broken window and peering in. The sight that greeted me was a nightmare. The warehouse was filled with macabre trophies, mementos of his vile deeds. A chill that had nothing to do with the night air swept through me. I reached for my phone, my hands shaking, and snapped a picture. It was all the proof I needed. I had to get this to the police. I had to end his reign of terror. My breath came in short, ragged gasps as I burst through the doors of the Oakhaven police station. The desk sergeant, a man I'd seen my whole life, looked up with a weary, dismissive expression. "What can I do for you, miss?" he grunted. But his boredom vanished the moment I thrust my phone into his face, the image of the warehouse and its gruesome contents glowing on the screen. His eyes widened, his face paling as he stared at the undeniable proof. I didn't have to say a word. In that single photograph, the mystery of the Midnight Butcher was solved.